wrap it around your pointer finger twice. Take that second loop, pull it over the first. Take the first loop and pull it over and down off of your finger. And now you have your slip knot. Your chain, which is the foundation of your crochet stitches, you will wrap your working yarn. This is your working yarn that's coming from your ball. You will wrap your yarn over your hook from the back to the front. This is called a yarn over. Then you're going to pull the yarn through the loop on the hook. Just gonna pull it through. Make sure you're not doing it too tight because you will have to work through those stitches later on. Also, if you notice, I have my yarn wrapped around my finger. Some people wrap it around this finger as well, create a little tension. Your tension controls how tight or how loose your stitches are when you're working. So there, I created one chain. We're going to do it again. We're going to wrap your working yarn from the back to the front around your hook. Then you're just going to grab the yarn with your hook and pull it right through that second chain. We have two chains now. We have 1, 2. I'm going to do it until I have 16 chains. 2. So we're going to wrap it around again. Pull the yarn through that chain. So now I have 3 chains. You don't count this loop that's on your hook. That's not a chain. Okay, you're gonna wrap around again. Wrap from back to front, pull through. I'm gonna do it a few more times and then I'm gonna speed it up. Wrap your yarn around back to front. Pull through that loop on your hook. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chains. Wrap around back to front. Grab it with your hook and pull it through that loop. I'm gonna wrap around again. Wrap around back to front and pull it through that loop. Notice I'm also holding my chain as I go, because you know, if I'm just doing this, it's not, my chains are moving all over and it makes it difficult for me to actually maneuver my hook to make my chains. So it's important to hold that while you're doing your work. I'm going to make 16 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chains. So I'm going to continue working my chains until I get to 60. Going to insert the hook into the second chain from the hook. And it may be a little difficult to see, but the chain are these V's. Each one of those represents a chain. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Second chain from hook. We're going to insert our crochet hook into there, into the front, between that V. Then we are going to wrap our yarn, take our working yarn, it doesn't change. Take our working yarn and wrap around the hook from back to front. This is called a yarn over. We are gonna pull that yarn back through that chain. Then you are going to do another yarn over. You are going to wrap the yarn around the crochet hook from back to front and pull that yarn through both of these loops on the hook. That is one single crochet stitch. We're going to insert the hook into the next chain, the immediate next chain. Be careful not to work into this space here. This is where your first stitch is. So we're not going to work back into that space, that chain space there. We're going to go into that next chain. So we're going to insert our hook into that next chain, wrap our yarn around the hook, pull your yarn through that chain, back up through that chain, wrap your yarn around that hook, back to front, that's the yarn over, and we're going to pull the yarn through these two loops. We're going to continue. Insert your hook into the next stitch, wrap your yarn around your hook, yarn over, and notice how I'm maneuvering my crochet hook. I'm twisting it a little bit so that that yarn latches on so it doesn't slip off, and it makes it easier for me to pull it up through that chain. Okay, now I have two loops on the hook again. We are going to wrap our yarn over, pull that yarn through those two. See, I'm a little tight. I tend to crochet on the tight side. Wrap that yarn, pull that through the two loops. I'm going to do it again a few more times, and then we're going to speed on until the end. So we're going to end right here in this last chain here. Okay. One more chain left. We made it to the end. Okay, so now we have our first row of single crochet stitches. So now we're going to turn our stitches around and get ready to start the next row. Generally, it's easy to turn your stitches like the page of a book, unless the pattern tells you otherwise. So to begin the next row of stitches, we are going to chain one. So you wrap the yarn around your hook from back to front and pull it through that loop. Instead of working through that V, we are going to work right under it. That's where your stitch is. You see that space right under the V? So we're going to enter our hook into that next stitch, wrap your yarn around your hook from back to front, pull up the loop. So you're going to have 2 loops on the hook, wrap your yarn around the hook from back to front, and pull that yarn through the 2 loops. And there you have your first single crochet stitch. So you're going to continue that until you get to the end of your row. It's pretty much the same thing that you've done for your first row of stitches, except you're working into a row of stitches instead of a chain. When you reach the end of your row, you're going to turn your stitches around like a book, like the page of a book. And then you're going to continue. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to continue.